Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. My weekends are now booked until February perna, so don't ask to take me to the Princess Ball or to the J.C. Penney where all the teeny boppers go on a Friday, Saturday night, cause I'm busy. What do kids do today? Drink Orange Julius's and smoke Juuls? Is that how the kids get lit up? Lit up out of their minds? I want to be a kid again. Look, my weekends aren't booked because football season is really here, but because of that court-ordered community service stemming from a public intoxication and public indecency incident where I may have confused an Arby's sandwich at 3 a.m. on the 16th Street Mall for a prostitute. It was a beef and cheddar, so there's really no excuse for that, but that's behind me now as I shift all of my focus to the NFL and the Denver Broncos. Today, former Lions running back Theo Riddick visited the Broncos. The first depth charts were released, hot dog buns were left wanting more, and Von Miller won the internet. I'll bring you up to speed on everything Broncos after showing you the greatest Broncos thing you'll see for the next month. The only guy who hated this magical Instagram treat was Rod Smith. Why? Nobody will ever truly know, but probably because he's scared. Scared by how much it makes him want to put on spandex and just dance. Let's get sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're new here. If you've been here a while, do the notification button so you know when I make videos. Also, the NFL Reddit page was kind enough to allow me to post my last NFL video. I made it Reddit-centric with Reddit comments, so go check it out on the NFL Reddit. I'll put a link in the description. The Denver Broncos have been in training camp for multiple weeks now, and to build excitement for the Hall of Fame game Thursday, they held a day of training camp at Broncos Stadium. The new Colorado kid, Dalton Reisner, was stalked by CBS 4's Ryan Green on his way into the stadium, which made for a very cinematic shot. Ryan's the type of talented videographer where he will do anything to get the shot, including receiving a restraining order. And those are not easy to make go away, Ryan. During that stadium practice, Drew Lock threw at least one really great pass in 7-on-7 drills, according to the internet. And fans were given a taste of the future at Broncos Stadium when they were instantly ripped off by the concessions. Sure, the price of entrance is free, but when you pay $9 for a hot dog, you're going to leave less full than Andy Reid after a Nutrisystem lunch. I'd say I've never seen a piece of meat come up that short, but you would call my bluff on that. The Detroit Lions released veteran running back Theo Riddick after signing prize free agent Mike Daniels last week. Everyone is referring to Theo Riddick as a third down back, which just means he can catch passes out of the backfield. This is a necessity for the Broncos, who have spent the last 3 seasons dying on 3rd and 9. My question, though, why not have a fourth down back? Can you imagine how unstoppable the Broncos offense would be with a fourth down running back? A guy who would just convert fourth downs for the team? When you see Bill Belichick using a fourth down back and the rest of the league instantly copying him, make sure you come back here and credit me for innovating the position. By now, you're probably familiar with the fact that my secret best friend, more to come on that, Adam Rank, picked the Broncos to go 2-14 back in June. Well, today on Twitter, Adam Levitin of Establish the Run said this about Phillip Lindsay in regard to the Broncos taking a peek at Theo Riddick. Hits keep coming for Phillip Lindsay. New regime, Royce Freeman pushing for major share of early down work, and now Theo Riddick in for pass downs. Which leads me to conclude that guys named Adam really don't understand the Broncos. My apologies to Adam Malnati of Mile High Report. Now, Theo Riddick isn't going to steal carries from Phillip Lindsay, okay? Lindsay had to impress an entire coaching staff last season as an undrafted college player. This coaching staff already knows how good Lindsay is, and the only thing holding him back right now is health. First the wrist, and then bad chiropractors. What's next, Phil? Slipping on a McDonald's bag? Tripping over Brian Greasy's dog walker? Just get better, man. Every team evaluates players that become available if they think they can upgrade a position, especially during training camp. We don't even know if Theo Riddick makes this team if he does sign, as there are 6 running backs on the Broncos roster right now, including 2 Devontaes. Vic Fangio, coaching the NFC North, got a good look at Riddick over the last couple years, but let's be honest, he might not even be that dynamic of a pass catcher out of the backfield anymore. He had 61 receptions last season for just 384 yards. Lindsay had 35 catches for 241. Unless Lindsay's hand surgery hinders him from catching balls, which has been blown way out of proportion, everyone knows you catch footballs with your chest. And that's why I'm not worried about Riddick replacing Mr. fucking Colorado. Also, Booker averaged more yards per catch than Riddick last year. What it will come down to, in my opinion, is who is better at pass blocking, Riddick or Booker. That is one area that Phillip Lindsay's size actually does affect him. Riddick has a pretty solid track record as a pass blocker, so if Denver wants to use him on third down to protect Joe Flacco, I don't think it's going to hurt Lindsay's stats, and could be the real reason the Broncos are considering him. It is worth noting, however, that Riddick averaged 4.3 yards per carry last year, which was the highest of his career. 4.3 yards per carry in Detroit is basically 5.8 yards on any other NFL team. Now, he only had 40 carries, so I'm not sure what to think of that average. His greatest strength, though, may be ball security with just 2 fumbles during his 6-year career. Personally, I hope the Broncos sign Riddick. It will be a great excuse for me to rewatch the Chronicles of Riddick, so I can reference Vin Diesel every time Theo steps onto the field. Theo was also my favorite character on Cosby, but there's no way in good conscience I can rewatch the Cosby Show for references. Riddick did leave without signing a deal, which probably means he won't return, but he also said he'd take his time to decide, which is smart, but then he said he is deciding between the Saints and Broncos, the only 2 teams he visited, and 2 teams that don't really need a running back. So if I'm Theo Riddick, I just stick to waiting it out. Someone will get hurt in the preseason, and you will get a better offer somewhere else. Plus, you could ditch most of training camp, which next to the Pro Bowl and tiny hot dogs is the worst part of football. The Broncos did release their first official depth chart, and the first thing that jumps out is that Kevin Hogan is QB number 2. Can we just skip this charade? We all know Drew Lock is going to be the backup. Let's just cut to the chase, which is not a coy way of me trying to insinuate the Broncos should cut Kevin Hogan and replace him with Chase Daniels. Think about that one. I'll give Kevin Hogan a shot on Thursday, I guess, but I have no idea why you'd keep him on the roster instead of Locke and Rippon. Flacco's your vet, and if he goes down, Hogan ain't saving the season. And if he plays ahead of Locke, he's just stealing valuable reps from your young QBs. The only other mild surprise with the depth chart was the tight end positions. Hireman was at 1, Fant at 2, Fumagalli at 3, and Butt at 4. Butt is 4th, probably because he's still recovering, but I hope he makes the team just because of all of the shit he's had to deal with in his career. And that's not even mentioning how hard it must have been for him to survive elementary school. Unless, of course, he was always bigger than the other kids. I think the message is clear from the coaching staff, Locke at 3, Fant at 2, that you're going to have to earn your roster spot. Which is good, even though I personally prefer to have things fucking handed to me. That's the American way as I see it. Also mildly interesting, AAF standout Devontae Bosby was listed behind Bryce Callahan, which is nice to see, and Alexander Johnson as the number 2 behind the injured Todd Davis, so we'll probably see a lot of Alex Johnson on Thursday, which is cool because on the BSN podcast I said Johnson is my dark horse player this season, and if I am right, I will never let you forget that. Kareem Jackson has been playing at safety and is listed as the number 1 strong safety with Sua Cravens behind him. The linebackers and the secondary will be areas to watch as we see how Fangio interchanges those lineups week to week. Now, Will Keys and I will preview the Hall of Fame game and more Broncos stuff tomorrow on the podcast. I'm going to get that up early this week since the game is Thursday, which I believe I will also be live streaming here on the channel. So if you want to watch the game with me, that'll be the plan. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna if you want to follow and talk football shit there. WillKeys6 on Twitter. Follow him. I gotta tell you that, or Will said he will make my life a living hell. And I believe him.